Hi there, everybody. It's Ryan from Android in Canada. I just want to do my review here of the LG Optimus 4X HD. Just got this device. I was talking to the LG reps about how to sort of transform people thinking about LG being subpar, and actually, so they sent us these two phones, and even with this phone alone, let alone the Optimus G I was playing around with earlier, this is a great phone. Again, pretty inexpensive for you, but also packs quite a punch. Let's take a look at this guy's device specific. So, got a bit of a plastic back, almost a rubberized kind of feel to it. It's got some texture to it. So not as sleek and sexy as some of the other devices out there, but again, you're not worried about it getting scratched or getting ruined or whatever like that. It also makes it easier that you can remove it then. So if it's plastic, of course, now I do this on camera, it's a little harder. So it's removable back. So unlike we're hearing about the Nexus 4 and the Optimus G, it's not an irreplaceable battery. You can replace this battery here, your card, and you also have in there your micro USB or micro SD card slot, so you can get expandable RAM. It does come with 16 built in, which should be enough for most people. But if you want more space for pictures or music, etc., then that's your thing. The speaker down below is pretty decent. What's nice is that if you cover it up a little bit, you can still get a little bit of sound, so if it's lying down. It's got this really weird kind of ridged back, which is sandwiched between the two sort of metal strips there, which is kind of a cool little look, a little feel. You have your volume rocker, and you've got a headphone jack and power on the top. So a little weirder if you're used to doing screenshots this way, turning on the device, it's up top. Can make it a little bit easier to find though, so you're not worrying about which side am I touching, am I grabbing this phone, anyways. So turn it on and let's take a look at this thing here. So it's a 4.7 inch screen, 1280 by 720 resolution, and it has the same sort of bubble looking feel. It has that sort of Nexus look with this basic circle, but whereas with the Optimus G you had a very nice sexy looking bubble, this is just a circle. And again, you can do the same thing, circle from one of those devices, and again we can talk about how you can customize that. But unlock it there. So automatically it's an ice cream sandwich 4.0.4, running its own sort of UI on top of that. So let's take a look at what its UI sort of allows you to do. So nothing really new, fantastic with the home screens. You can do all that sort of thing. The app tray is a little weird. If you're noticing as I'm scrolling through, nothing's really in alphabetical order. It is in a sense, but attachment video. Whereas the ones I sort of added in after are after the pre-installed ones. So trying to find the one you just installed can be a little bit of a pain sometimes. Trying to go through them. So that's a little different. The system settings are a little different as well. Trying to find certain things, like for example, battery operation. I'd have to go into power saver mode in there and go into battery usage and then see that option. So it's not super intuitive, especially if you're used to a different, the basic operating system, but just something you would get used to. Lock screen settings, again, you can play around with the shortcuts. What icons do you want at the bottom? What kind of clock do you want it to have there? And so if I turn this off, oops, come on, turn on. So there's my, there. Okay. So that's some of the neat things it has. This is a quad-core processor. Like I said, it's pretty good bang for your buck. It's a little laggy, I find. I don't know if it's just because it's Tegra 3 versus the recent Optimus G having the S4, but I've noticed it's a little slower. I don't know if it's just the UI. The UI isn't nearly as sort of sexy and sleek, even though they claim to be the same version numbers. You also have the power widgets up top, and like I showed you the other way, it's really nice to have it remember where you were versus, let's say, on the S3, the Galaxy S3, it always has that scrolling thing, and I just hate that. I wanted to remember where I was instead of having to move every time. So this remembers where you are, and they're just simple toggles. And you can play around with what order you want them to show up in. So, where is that? I want to show something. And one of the neat features they have as well, I really kind of like, because I tend to do a lot of screenshots, you can sort of self-annotate. So for example, let's say, here's the benchmark. And again, it feels laggy, but I mean, it's rating pretty high up in the benchmark. Like right under the 1X Plus and above an S3. One of the features they have is this quick memo, which like a Note 2 allows you to pull up the screen and you draw on it. Right? And then from there I could go ahead and say save that, or email that off, share it to Google Plus, whatever I want to do. So a cool little feature that it has there. The screen, I find it must be a little bit different. I think this is, compared to the other one, it's just a true HD IPS versus a true HD IPS Plus in the Optimus G. So it's not as vibrant a screen as I find the other ones, but it does a decent job. Again, only because I have the Optimus G here to play around with, so I sort of see that difference. Otherwise, I'd probably would be okay with it. Let's go back to my thoughts here. The thoughts is because it's LG, they're using their font versus Roboto, but you can change that in the settings. You can go in there and change that back. What else do I want to talk about? The camera app. Now on the Optimus G, I really love the camera app. And again, sort of holding true with this one. I mean, it is an older device compared to the Optimus G. It doesn't seem to be as fast as the Optimus G is. I mean, I hate to keep comparing it to that one, but it's a little slower. Trying to find, oops, not panorama. Let's go to like normal mode. It's pretty quick, but it's still a little bit laggy compared to the other ones. You also get that really cool cheese. Of course, it's not going to work now. Cheese. It worked. I actually tricked my kid into saying cheese a couple times to just get a picture out of him. So that works. Pretty cool. Same sort of standard features you get out of most cameras. Very easy. Nothing really hard to find. I just find the UI on this version is just a little bit slower than you find in the Optimus G. So I guess it depends on what carrier you're on. This is on Wind, and I think you can get it on Bell. Whereas Optimus G's on the other ones, so on Rogers and Bell and Telus, etc. So you maybe, depends on which carrier, I might choose which one of these you'd want to go with. It's a little bit cheaper, I think, this model compared to, well, I mean, outright, it's definitely cheaper than the Optimus G. So that's there. So other neat little features you can do with, just like with the other one, is you can add in other icons down below if you wanted to. You can also play around with the size of your folders. Come on, there we go. So if you wanted to have a little more customization to it, I think you can even change the color of them. I can't remember how I did that one. But anyways, the other thing you can do is, really I thought was kind of neat, and I'm hoping this is coming out for you guys here. Let's say I wanted to change that Smart Share icon. I can change it to, oops, crud. So I just hold down, but don't move it anywhere. Tap it again, and then I can go through a sort of system icons, and which one do I want it to be for that app? Let's say S for Share, Smart Share or something. You can customize it, and it's really kind of cool to be able to do that with its own sort of device. Other than that, it's again a decent phone. This one's on Wind. It's $200 with their contract Wind tab, they call it, or $550 outright. So again, not a super expensive phone. I think most people will be more than happy with this device. The stats on it, like I said, it's a Tegra 3 quad-core processor, so it handles pretty well most things. I noticed playing some things like Angry Birds, it started to slow down a little bit, but definitely no slouch. Okay, so that's the review of the 4X HD. If you guys have any more questions, I'll have a full review up on the blog. Just shoot me an email or find me on Google+, and keep reading. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.